Hello and good evening and welcome to round 5 of the SSRI GT3 series season 5 here at the fantastic Valencia track. My name is Ryan Walker and alongside me is Frank Hoppe tonight on the commentary team with Chris Hill doing his magic behind the scenes on the camera. And Frank, it's hard to believe it's the final round of the season already, and even though it's only been 5 rounds, it's just flew by.
Yeah, it's gone really quick, but yeah, that's also good, right? I mean, it means normally that you've had fun, and it's which makes the time pass just a lot quicker. So I would expect this last race to actually be a lot of fun as well. So let's see how it goes tonight.
Absolutely, and well, we're still in practice. Let's take a look at the the season schedule and how things kicked off. Obviously, it's the final round of the season at Valencia, but as the schedule's just about to come up now, as you see, round 1 kicked off at Paul Ricard for a 60-minute race back in January, and then on January the 23rd we went to Circuit of the Americas, or COTA as it's formerly known, for 75 minutes of action. And yeah, it was a great race there with plenty of action going on for a track that some drivers think it's a bit dull, but myself personally, I love it. And then we went to Brands Hatch in the UK for another 60-minute race, and then we went to the land down under, or in Bathurst, for a 75-minute race. And yeah, again, a fantastic race, and Bathurst always producing the goods with when it comes to action. And then, as already mentioned, it's the final round of the season at Valencia in Spain for a 60-minute race. And yeah, I think we were just talking about it as well, Frank, that Valencia, it's a track that's so difficult to pass. There's not many passing opportunities, so I think making moves, you're going to have to be patient. And also, we were talking about as well that there might be some surprises with regards to pit strategy, and maybe some drivers pitting within the first 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, so it's officially, I think originally it's a MotoGP track, which makes it, I think, quite a bit different than your normal or average track. So the corners are quite flowing with sometimes late apexes, but also, because I think of that flow, it's sometimes really hard to get a real point where you can overtake. So it's a track also that has quite a few, or quite an easy to make a track limit violation, which will come into play as well. But also because if it's hard to overtake, you might actually go and start looking at your strategy, because looking at the way we've handled the pit stops for the races for 60 minutes, it's an obligatory tire change, which takes 30 seconds. So normally you would expect people to sort of fill up halfway, take the pit stop, and then do the rest, because then you have the least amount of fuel to drive with. But also looking at a track, if it's a hard track to overtake, which this one definitely is, then you really might try to do a different strategy. So you could expect, because each car is able to sort of, with a filled up car, race that whole 60 minutes. So what you could do, if you're sort of more in a midfield where you're not supposed to be because you had a bad qualifying, you could sort of say, okay, I'm gonna fill her up, do the first lap, get in immediately, change my tires, and then do a full stint on those tires and see where you get, because you have a free track in front of you. So yeah, gonna be some nice options. I think we might expect perhaps also that the undercut could be powerful, because normally after a pit stop the track becomes quicker with your new tires. You're a bit quicker than before, so I think the undercut might be a bit stronger than the overcut, so that you're pitting later. But yeah, it's something we have to see. So anyway, that's gonna be an interesting fact, I think, of this race.
Absolutely, and you were talking about the MotoGP coming here as well. There's other series that I've visited here in the past. You've had the World Touring Car Championship, which is now formed with the basically pretty much a TCR championship now, and then also World Superbikes, GT World Challenge Europe, and also Formula One has visited here in the mid 2000s when it came to pre-season testing. Got a whole other series as well, and talking about the track as well, Frank. Not many passing opportunities, but how about taking us through for a guide of the track?
Yeah, that's fine. It's of course officially named the Circuit de Comunidad Valenciana Ricardo Tormo. It's a 4-kilometer track, where if you take your first corner, which is called Aspar, after the straight, you have a nice wide out where you can go a couple of cars wide into the Doohan corner, like the motor GP world champion, I guess. Then you go into turn number 3 After which you go into turn number 4, Nico Terol. That's the name of that corner, and then another corner which is quite easy to get a bit wrong. You need to stay on the inside, nicely turn outside in turn 5. Then you go to a quite harder corner than you think, with an easy to make track limit called Angel Nito, and then through a sort of a kink to the La Afición. This is a corner where people might try to overtake into Bernard Martinez. And then you get, that's one of the slower corners. Then this is full throttle through kink 9 and 10 into, and then I slaughtered the name, Jaume Macia in corner 11, which is also a corner where you might overshoot a bit if you're not braking right. Then it's a bit of a straight into a small tap on the brake into this corner where it's also easy to get a track limit, called Campi Herreros, into the long turn 13. Start braking at the curb, and then into the final corner, Adrian Campos, number 14, and then back into the straight with an easy accessible pit, which might make it a bit easy to overshoot the actual entry of the pit. But it's a 4-kilometer track, and I like the feel of the track. I find it easy to drive in a way, but really hard to be quick. So very curious how quick they will be. In practice times, they've been quite a bit quicker than I'm able to. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And they just looking at the times in practice, that's being really close. And we're just looking at the standing as well. There's only in each class, the GT3 Pro Championship, it's pretty much down to 2 drivers as it stands, with Patrick Sodika and Sam Spenkelink, the main drivers up at the top are in contention for the championship. But if anything was to happen to them, you've got the likes of Clyde Barney in third place that could be there to pick up the pieces, and he's still mathematically in with a chance of the championship, but it would take issues for Sodika or Spenkelink to basically kind of hand him the championship. So that'll be worth keeping an eye on. And then the GT3 semi-pro championship, but again that's down to 2 drivers, with the Austrian Rainer Affenstad leading that championship, and Leonardo Wolf Garcia in second place, only 2 points behind him. But obviously, if anything happens to them, it could kind of hand the championship to Christoph Holzer, the German. But I think, again, it's going to take a miracle. And we were talking about it before the broadcast, Frank. Apparently, in every race this season so far, or pretty much this season, it's each round's been won by different drivers.
Yeah, and this is both for pro and for semi-pro. So I think that's actually quite unexpected. Normally, you would think that 1 or 2 guys will actually win the most of it, and in this case, they are not. So yeah, that makes it actually really nice, because I think the one that's gonna win today, that he might probably be the one that actually takes a championship, which would then of course be a really deserved one, because they won the most races. Yeah. Like I said, unexpected results, but quite clear that 2 people are in front. I'm still a bit sad that Chris Heck had to leave the competition, because he was really quick in the first race. So that's a bit of a shame. And then of course we still have the battle between Oliver and Bas. So who's gonna come out on top of that one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Our very own Oliver Rosedale Anderson, commentator for the tier 2 races, and always puts on a fantastic show with making some jokes as well. And if you haven't watched his interviews from last week, I would highly recommend going back and watching them if you want a good laugh and some good fun. So yeah, Oliver certainly has a character, and it's always good to have him in the series, with it, be it commentating or racing. And as talking about qualifying as well, qualifying underway, and Watson, the Patrick Sodakit, the Wild Fins Racing driver, and one of the championship contenders. And it's a question I was made to bring up as well, Frank. Being in a championship battle and the championship contention, what do you think the mindset of Sodakit and Spenkel will be? Do you think they'll be feeling relaxed? Do you think they'll be a little bit nervous?
Well, I'm not quite sure if they get that nervous anymore, to be honest. I mean, Sam, for years, he's been winning quite a bit, and he's won the championship, I think, a couple of times as well. Um, so we've seen him drive under pressure, where he's just not made any mistakes. So I don't think they'll approach this race any different really than they would normally do. They know they're quick, so yeah, I wouldn't expect too much of a hassle there for them. Don't know about Rainer or Leonardo, because yeah, if you're in semi-pro, yeah, I'm not quite sure if how used you are to winning, because there are normally on service there's always guys quicker, right? So yeah, I would expect them to just try it, but try definitely not to make too many mistakes. But yeah, you're gonna have to take some risks, looking at the times in practice as well, if you want to get ahead on the track. So
And yeah, another thing that's just popped up is as Chris Hill just notified us. If you can see it at the top of the screen, rain is expected in 30 minutes. So this could that's another 10 minutes. Sorry.
yeah,
So yeah, not maybe it's maybe not something that Spenkelink or Sodakit would. Maybe Sodakit wanted the rain. Spenkelink maybe not so. But that's definitely thrown a spanner into the championship battle.
well, I think actually that Sam in Brands Hatchie was quickest in the rain, so I'm not quite sure if he's not wanting the rain. He was really quick in it. So I would expect Sam to be actually really good in the rain. But like I said, I don't know really how, because I thought actually this race was sort of like 100% dry. I'm now a bit scared for next week. So that wasn't in my planning that this was going to be a rainy race. Oh well, and the race isn't wet yet, right? So it's now of course the qualification, but that also means that of course you have not a lot of time to actually make a really decent to set your time. So you need to do it quick now.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing to factor into it as well is setups. Have drivers went with a dry setup? It's thinking that the race might be dry for the whole duration, or have they kind of went with a wet weather setup as well, just in case the rain does arrive. And as you see, rain is expected in 10 minutes. As we look at Patrick Sodakit at the moment, currently second at the moment in qualifying, only 38 thousandths of a second of Will Carson, who's basically jumped to the top of the timing standings with the McLaren. So it's good to see a bit of a, as I say, take it back, Sodakit to the top.
Yeah, and that's quick. I think for the yeah, especially also the temperature. That's a really quick time. Because they weren't that much quicker, I think, on the practice service the last couple of or the last week. So I think there are, if you look on our practice results, practice server results, that those are the times in the database also from the I think the endurance race on Valencia that was done a couple of weeks ago. And then they hit the 129.7, so at 129.5. So we're probably not gonna make that, but yeah. De Jong is on top already, so Clyde probably has some extra time, but Sam needs to step up a bit, and he needs to do it quickly. So the rain has already started.
So yeah, Sam is expecting to get round in time before the rain arrived to improve his time. He's just been, he's just had no pun intended. He's just had a bit of a dampener put on his effort.
Yeah. This might be very decisive. So how are we on the semi-pro? So Leonardo is in front of Reiner. Yeah, and they're not gonna be improving once it gets wetter than this. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so it looks like some drivers are in the pits already. So depending on
it's no use to be. If you're not gonna be quicker, you might as well sit it out, right? Which is horrible for us commentators because we want to see people slide off the track, right?
Yeah. I'm saying nothing. If it provides if it provides some excitement, then I'm all for it. But yeah, obviously, never want to see drivers having issues or rain compromising their qualifying. But yeah, as you see right there, the track state at the moment is greasy, so it's not fully wet, but you never know. It could be.
But you're not gonna drive the 130s anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say the lap times on a greasy track, I'll probably be down to, or probably drop about maybe 5 seconds or even more.
Sam's last time was 1:33.9. So, yeah, that's about 2-3 seconds difference. So then it's going to be really hard to get a better time.
Indeed. So, yeah, looking at Nard Cox at the moment, 9th place at the moment, a teammate to Spenkelink, and Nard ahead of his teammate, but I think in the race it could be team orders if Spenkelink catches up to him. But at the moment, it's Amaral on the semi-pro class pole position from Peters in second, and also Matt Redfern as well in third in the class. So in the semi-pro class as well, there's a bit of a shake-up.
Yeah. So but then the important things I think is that Patrick Söderqvist is on 2nd place and Sam is on 15th at the moment, and I don't think that's going to be improving. I think people will get out just to be driving in the rain, see how the setup works. And I think I've said it before on Brands Hatches that if you look at the sort of meta setups that you have at the moment, those are setups that are actually really good for rain already as well. So it's like almost no rear. What is it? The rear is the RB. So.
Oh, the rear anti-roll bar.
Yeah, the anti-roll bar. So that's on 0. The dampers are really, really low, which is also good for driving in the rain. So I would expect that normally with just the wet tires and your sort of normal setup, but putting the brake bias backwards, you already have a quite decent car anyway in the Lamborghini that works for me anyway. So. Don't know what the setup is that Sam uses, but
and also for racing in the wet as well, depending on how wet it is, even on wet tires you have to adjust the tire pressures, and I think the tire pressures, from what I remember, is between 29 and 30 psi depending on how wet it is. So the drivers going out on track at the moment, this could be helpful for them to help them set the tire pressures up to get an idea of what they need to set them to.
Yeah, if the race is gonna be wet, right? Because it might just as easily be a completely dry race. But because I've not seen on the practice server, I haven't seen any rain as well, so that's why I'm a bit surprised that it's raining. And kind of curious if it could be a red race as well. And also, one of the things that you notice when you're driving here, you really normally take a lot of the curbs which is of course an absolute no-no in the rain. So you're really gonna have to take a bit of different lines just to not spin out during braking or during cornering or getting on the throttle. So. And it does work in ACC as well, is that you just get a bit of the official racing line, you get more traction on that part. It seems to be even better in the new rain model for iRacing, by the way. I've seen some videos on how you would need to drive there, and you really need to take the wet lines that you would normally need to take if you're on a real track. So. That's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. As we look at Wildcastle at the moment, third place with the McLaren, and yeah, Will's been one of those drivers that it's always been. He's had the speed this season, but obviously I think he took pole position at Brands Hatch, and then at the start of the race it just basically went horribly wrong, and just it went downhill and just had no luck at all.
Yeah, because his average, he was 5th in the first race, 2nd in the second, and 4th in the 4th race. So, but 16th in the Brands Hatch race. So, yeah, that's a shame because he would have been way up in his points as well.
Absolutely, as Spenkelink back out on track. Again, similar to Sodacat, probably just getting an idea of the wet track and just getting an idea of what he needs to change, and also adjusting tyre pressures as well. As Timo Zidek goes for a little whipsy in the final corner, but manages to get going again. So some of these drivers just be caught out by the damp track, and they just having to readjust their driving as he goes wide in turn 1 and they spins again. So some drivers just struggling slightly with the damp track. Actually, as I say that, it's just the track states switched to wet now. So yeah, drivers having to readjust their braking points as well.
Yeah, you really need to start braking earlier, and it sort of depends on the corner on how much earlier. I know in the setup that I'm currently testing here, I don't have full wing, for example. I'm not quite sure if that's a smart thing or not, but it is what it is. So, and normally in the rain you would want full wing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something I've done on ACC from time to time. I've depended on the track, even in the dry, that I prefer to run not full wing, but maybe just slightly more downforce because it suits my driving style, and also I feel more comfortable. As we look at Andy Ken as well, and it's good to see Andy out in the track after they have. Yeah, I don't know if he'll be happy with me mentioning it, but it's good to see him on track as well after having a horrific accident. A horrific accident, and hopefully Andy's recovering well, and it's good to see him out on the track, and currently down in 18th overall at the moment, and inside pretty much inside the top 10 in the semi-pro class.
Yeah, and I think he cast a weather spell, right? As the new Harry Potter. So yeah. I guess that's all his fault now.
As Chris Hill says in the background, was it wet as trackers? Oh, that made me laugh.
So yeah, only 4 minutes to go. So yeah, there's not going to be any upset, I think, in the overall settings of the overall qualification list, but it's good to see everyone still going on track and try out how it is driving in the wet.
Yeah, and also it's a good point that we've just been told as well they don't have a tyre allocation, so they can go out as much. Go out as much as they want, and it's not like other leagues where you have basically whatever tyres you use in qualifying, you have to start the race with, I believe. So yeah, I think some drivers just taking advantage of getting the extra practice in the wet, and as I look at Andy again, and then we go back to Barry's dry zig as well. So Yeah, Marius having a good season in the championship. He is currently in, let me check, I think he's in the top,
Yeah, he's in 5th.
yeah, 5th place. So yeah, good season for the German. And
Yeah, and that's
yeah,
only because he missed the second race. Because he was 2nd and then 3rd and 7th. But if he'd been in the second race, he probably would have scored quite a few more points as well, and probably would have been in contention still for the championship.
indeed, as he comes up to the finish line, and yeah, they still got about pretty much 2 minutes 20 seconds of the left in qualifying, and yeah, I think was Marius clips the red slippery or red and white slippery surface, and goes for a spin, and yeah, I think he was trying to do a bit of a Valencia drift, but failed miserably.
Could be me, but it seems that that first corner in the okay, we had some slight technical difficulties with the OBS streaming app, but we're back.
Yep, apologies about that. As well, look at Justin Dion heading heading into turn one, and yeah, I don't know what to say about Justin, Frank. He's had the pace this season, but just sometimes luck has not been on his side, and it's just, I think even himself, he's probably feeling frustrated by that, and he knows that the season could have gone better, but hopefully he can basically redeem himself, and when he comes back next season, if he does plan to race again next season, and get back up to the front.
Yeah, it might be me, but if I look at the standings for Justin, he is mentioned there in a McLaren, and he's now driving a Mercedes. So, did we miss something there? Yeah. Okay. So he might have changed the car in the first race already. So. Okay.
Yep. So and I think yeah, the Mercedes Mercedes proven to be a good car in the wet, and Justin putting it to good use as well. So I think it might just be the car suiting Justin's driving style, or the way he likes to set the car up, because he runs wide slightly there, and the curbs, the wet curbs is something that the drivers are going to have to look out for, because if you try and brake on the wet curbs, or wet curbs, and it can unsettle the car, and they pretty much, as you've seen some drivers do already in turn one, they can spin you around.
Yeah, it's you're gonna have to take quite a bit of speed, or try to take as much speed as you can into turn one. But then if you're perhaps on lower downforce and the front is too grippy, then yeah, you might easily lose the rear on that corner. So, but let's see. So quali is over, almost. But like I said, we don't expect any more or quicker times. I think the last times all were like 1:38. So in the rain, you lose about 8 seconds on the quickest time in the dry.
Something like that, and with the track being wet for the remainder of qualifying, it's kind of shaking the championship battle up in the GT3 Pro class, Frank. And I think at the moment you would say that the championship advantage is the soda kit, and Simsport has got it all to do from 15th on the grid.
Yeah. Well, we know Sam, so he should be able to cook up something good. But yeah, it makes it quite a bit harder for him. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and as qualifying comes to a close, we'll take you through the grid shortly. But yeah, what's your expectations for the race, Frank? Is there anyone that you'll be keeping an eye out for? Obviously, we've got the GT3 Pro Class Championship, but the Semi Pro Class Championship as well. Is one worth keeping an eye out for, and yeah, I think there's some people in that class as well it's worth keeping an eye out for. But who'll win the race in both classes is still remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, if you look at of course, now the qualification is that Leonardo and Rainer, those are really close together. So with Oliver and Sam in between them. So sort of expecting Sam perhaps to pass Leonardo. That would mean Oliver might be a hindrance to Reiner. But yeah, still, Andy is quite is close behind Reiner, is directly behind Reiner as well. So that should be a really nice battle anyway. And I'm not quite sure about because Lucas Amaral, I think he'd been quick before as well, right? So he had some decent results.
Yep,
I think.
Lucas had some decent results, and yeah, the Brazilians been quick at times this season, and yeah, he's always been there and thereabouts. And I think yeah, just thinking ahead to the race as well, I think drivers are going to have to be very, very careful as well through turn 1 and turn 2, because it's so easy to have an accident and have get caught up in an incident just because the pack is so close together. And into turn 2 especially, everyone's braking and checking up, and it does cause a bit of a concertina effect.
Yes, turn 2 is like it's a turn that's I think almost about 100, or what is it, 108, 160 degrees or so. So it's quite it's almost a hairpin as well, which sort of you go in quite wide, but then because it's such a tight turn, then it really bunches up everyone. The first corner, yeah, you might expect people to go 3-4 wide almost there, I guess. And then you get a real problem getting into turn 2. So the first couple of corners will actually be very interesting to see, and see if everyone comes out alive.
Absolutely, as we're just heading onto the grid now, and as you see right there, the cars are on the grid, and yep, as Frank says, it is raining and it's a wet track, so a wet start to the race, and this is yeah, looking forward to it. But
but dry in 10 minutes.
So it's dry in 10 minutes. So what do you do? Do you take the risk and start in slicks? Do you start in wet tires and take maybe pit early to put dry tires on? That's
yeah, that's what I would do.
A question that remains to be answered, and I think it wouldn't surprise me if some drivers take the risk and they start in the slicks. But as you see right there, the cars are on the grid, so we'll take you through the race grid. So Justin Dion from Holland taking the pole position in the Mercedes, with Patrick Sodekit from Germany starting second. So the championship advantage is to the German, and then Will Casson in third place, with Clyde Barry in fourth, and then Peter Vernier in fifth, and then Luca Amaral sixth, with Andy Rich in seventh, Kurt Peters in eighth, Nard Cox in ninth, and then Matt Redfern rounding out the top 10. And then Thomas Van Schaik in 11th, with Marius Dreisig in 12th, Tim Miro in 13th, with Leonardo Wolf Garcia in 14th, and then 15th you've got another of the GT3 Pro Championship contenders, Sam Spenkelink in 15th, so plenty of work for Sam to do from there. And then we've got our very own Oliver Rosedal Anderson in 16th, and then 17th we've got Reiner Affenstad. Then we've got 18th Andy King, Timo Zidek in 19th, and then 20th is Martin van der Kraan, and then 21st is Dario Vianello, 22nd Christoph Holzer, Bas van Melis in 23rd, and then Dennis Verhoeven in 24th, and rounding at the grid in 25th is the Norwegian Terje Andre Fredriksen.
Which is quite low for him, because he's in the 5th position for the championship.
Yeah, very, very surprised by that, to see him at the rear of the field, considering he's normally up there in the excuse me, the semi-pro class. But as the cars get in the way on the warm-up lap, yeah, this is pretty much yeah, the last round of the season, and some drivers maybe just thinking ahead of what their plan and their strategy is going to be. But Patrick Sodekit, I think if you're him, you're probably not being smug, but maybe just thinking that he's happy that Spenkelink's further down the field in 15th, and it gives him a bit of a chance to maybe relax, just do his thing, and just maybe stick to a plan that he's came up with before the race. But I think I'll be interested to see what what sort of planning goes ahead and goes ahead and uses in the race at the start, because I think he might. I wouldn't surprise me if Denise Pope is maybe on the same Discord channel or Discord server, and maybe just helping him just calm his nerves.
Well, I'm also kind of curious because just before I noticed that also the wet condition from the track went to damp just before we started driving, which I don't know with this temperature how long it actually takes for the track to dry, because what I would do anyway in this case is I would start on wets, keep them a bit under-inflated, I guess, so try to get them perhaps to about 28 instead of 29 when driving, because the track probably will dry out in about 10-20 minutes or become quite a bit drier, where your tires will heat up quite a bit more, and then yeah, you're gonna have to sing it out a bit until there's a bit of a dry line.
Absolutely, and also if you overinflate your, maybe you've set the tire presses up for the maybe 29 psi, but obviously as the track starts drying out, your tires are going to overinflate, and that's when your wet tires start overheating. But as you see there, all the cars starting to bunch up now, and this is pretty much where everyone's starting to just give a bit of a shaky leg. Maybe some drivers feel the nerves slightly, but as we're coming up to the start-finish line, and we'll be underway in a few seconds' time. But Justin Dion in the pole position, and Patrick Sodicott alongside in the front row, and we're waiting for the green flag to come out, and yeah, as they come up to the line now, and yeah, it's pretty much everyone's trying to be clean, and yeah, and we're underway.
Good start from Justin. He's just cruising away. And a good start from William, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. So Will Carson had a great start, and it looks like Peter Vernier in the BMW trying to make a move up the inside, and a bit of contact with Sodicott as well. This is not the start that Patrick needed. He wanted to try and get a great start off the line, but he's just been absolutely swamped. And
we do have some yellows in the back. But those are like 2 cars.
Absolutely.
Oliver!
Oh, Oliver's had issues.
Oh no, not Oliver. Oh, sorry.
Not Oliver, sorry. Don't do that to me.
Sam has had issues. Sam is on 24th, so almost last, second to last.
Yeah, and it looks like Marius Dreisig had issues as well. So both drivers, Marius had a great qualifying. Sam had not the best qualifying, but I wonder if Sam maybe just got caught up in any incidents. Maybe just got swamped. And as I look at Clyde Barney as well, fourth place.
We might ask our resident. No. Oh, we don't have any replays, unfortunately, to take a look at the moment, so that's unfortunate to see. Otherwise, we could have seen what was wrong or what went wrong with Sam.
Oh, Peter Vernier off. Peter Vernier in turn 1.
That's the one, the problem we described in that corner. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he might have just ran wide on that slippery white and red and white paint, and they just spun round.
Well, that's the taking the scenic route.
taking the rallycross route by the looks of it, but Peter managing to get going again, and that's not the start he wanted. So maybe just excuse me,
there's there as well.
Couple of other cars off as well, so it's I would expect people to settle down and take it easy, but does that appear to be the case?
Well, I think also with these conditions, I mean, it's perhaps so hard to just overshoot a little and you just step someone and you can be both gone, right? it's immensely difficult sometimes to try and drive correctly, especially if you're so close together in the wet. But let's see.
Indeed, and yeah, with that issue, Patrick Sodikat's promoted up into 4th place now, so...
Oh, and Oliver is also... Did Oliver already go into the pit? Perhaps.
I'm not sure, we might have missed that.
He's really in the back now.
So yeah, I wonder if Oliver's deciding to take the risk and switch to slick tyres already, so...
Because it is dry, yeah.
So it's starting. It's a greasy track now.
Greasy track, yeah.
As you see there,
There is a dry line already.
Dry line starting to form.
Which is really quick. There are other people already coming in the pit as well, I think. Yeah. So Rainer is already in the pit. So he's trying to make a move on Leonardo to get on the slicks as soon as possible as well.
Absolutely, and they also.
This is quicker than I would have expected it to dry. I mean, it's in 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of cars in front of Leonardo battling away. That's Thomas Van Schaik, and looks like Vianello as well. But yeah, it's yeah, I'm amazed that the track's starting to dry up really quickly, quicker than expected. As you see, there's a dry line and starting to form, so it would not surprise me if some drivers dive into the pits at the end of this lap to stick on dry tyres.
Yeah.
And as Thomas gets a bit sketchy there over the curb there, and that corner is so tricky, Frank, because if you take too much of that inside curb, it just unsettles the car with that sausage curb.
Yeah, yeah. I find the curbs here sort of unpredictable as well sometimes. So that's the corner jumpy Herreros. That's one, especially if you've got a really stiff suspension, it can really just bounce you out of the track. But because, like I said, I think before, is that because most of the suspensions are really soft at the moment, so there isn't so much of an issue with the current setups, I guess. But I know that with the stiff setup that I really lost the car there.
Yeah, I always find that with Valencia as one of those tracks. It's a driver preference thing. Some drivers like to set the car up to be soft. Some drivers like the car to be set up stiffly, or stiff. Sorry. So I guess it's a personal preference thing. Obviously, some corners you've got to use the curbs as well. So setting the car up soft can be a big help sometimes. But as I look at Leon, looking at Thomas at the moment, catching up to the pack of Tim Miro as well, really quickly. So I wonder if Tim's on the wet tyres and he's struggling slightly.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure because.
Oh, sorry, Frank. I was just about to say Clyde Barney's got a 30-second stop and go penalty, and so has Peter Vernier.
Okay, is that speeding in the pit lane both? Might have been that entry that I warned about. Is that it's so easy to just go too fast into the pit because you think you have enough time to brake, and then all of a sudden you don't. So.
Indeed, excuse me.
But it's a shame for Clyde.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a shame because he had a decent start to the race, but Patrick Sodicat into the pits as well now for dry tyres. Same with Peters and Nard Cox as well. So Tim Miro into the pits, so is Spenkelink as well. So a whole range of other drivers starting to make the same decision, and they switch to the dry tyres with the dry line starting to get wider and wider.
Yeah, yeah. So I wonder how long it will take before the track goes green instead of greasy. But it's but still, it might still be an issue, right? Because if the conditions are like this, usually your tires can still be stay quite cold, so you have really low pressures, so you don't want to overinflate them at the moment to sort of catch up with that, because if the track is gonna dry out more, then you will overheat and just run on balloons for the rest of the race.
Indeed. As looking at Justin Dion heading for turn 1 now, and his gap is up to about 5.5 seconds now. So Justin Dion, well, everyone else is pretty much been on wet tires at the start. I think Justin probably started on the dry tires, and he's played an absolute blinder.
Well, I don't expect that, to be honest, because he was away so quickly. If he'd been on the dry tires, he wouldn't have been able to do that. So I think he's still on the wets, but he's just making really good time of it. Because he's driving 134. So do we have people already on the dry tires? So Clyde is on dries, I think. And what is his? So he had a 234, and I'm going to see if I can find some.
Oh, Justin runs wrong wide. So, yeah, I think Justin's struggling on the wet tyres as well. I thought he was on dry tyres, but I think it's just everyone was scrapping amongst themselves behind it. It gave him a chance to just pull away.
Because if I look at the dry tyres, those people are driving 136s, 135s now for Oliver, and Justin was still driving a 134, perhaps on the wet tyres, with Andrew Richardson a 133.9. So it looks like at the moment we're sort of at this cutoff point. We're going to go to the cutoff point where it would be better to get on the dry tires. But up till now, I think the wet tires were actually quicker than the dry tires have been.
Yep, and the track is still greasy, so maybe some drivers have.
It's now green.
As I take it back, as the tracks went green now, so yeah, this is probably the time where more drivers will start switching to the dry tires, or maybe even as I say that, Frank, it's actually switched to fast now, so it's changing quickly.
Yeah. So let's see if I can find some of the. So 134.9 by Reiner. So that's now the quickest on the dry tires, I think. And I think Sam, he started a bit just like 2 cars before Reiner, and he's now, so 3 cars before him. 4 cars, so Chris Holzer is now in between there.
We'll look at Thomas at the moment, and Thomas is up to second place at the moment. So with all the mayhem going on at the moment, Thomas is up into second place overall and leading the semi-pro class ahead of Wolf Garcia. Wolf Garcia obviously second in the semi-pro class championship. So Wolf Garcia doing what he needs to do to take that championship possibly, but obviously Ryder as well. He's down in 22nd overall. So Wolf Garcia lead second in at the class, and possibly could be still a long way to go, but it could be the advantage to him in the championship at the moment.
Yeah, but they are still going really strong, because Andrew Richardson did a 132.9. Thomas van Schaik, Leonardo Wolf, Marius Dreisig, Terje Andre Fredriksson, they're all still on the wet tires, I think, and they do 133s. Guessing that they're still on, or that they are on wets. They might have fooled us all and and actually be driving on slicks all the time. So, but they still need to do a pit stop anyway. So let's see how that goes. Yeah.
Yeah, and Wolf Garcia, like you say, still got to make a pit stop as well. So, and Reiner's made his pit stop, but he's been held up in traffic. So if he continues being held up in traffic, it could possibly help Wolf Garcia jump him when he makes his pit stop. Obviously, depending on how if he has to add fuel at the pit stop.
So, but after the pit stop anyway, the Justin de Jong and Patrick Söderqvist and Will Casson, they're still in the same spot. So for them, it's no losses, no gains. So, and Patrick is about 8 seconds behind Justin de Jong. And Will is about within a second of Patrick, so there should be a nice battle there as well. Oh, and we have a replay of the start. So this is what went wrong with Sam and Marius. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's up.
Yeah.
As our director says it was beautiful synchronized spinning as well. So yeah, couldn't agree more. And I think if you're Sam, you're probably feeling very frustrated after that because he did try to go around, but just unfortunately, it's like that concertina effect I was talking about. Frank, it just happened in front of him, and he had nowhere to go.
No. But that's the issue also because of that first corner. It's so wide, is that it looks like you can go there with 3-4 wide and no problem. But yeah, then it still tightens. You need to make the corner, and it's really hard because everyone's braking and trying not to hit the person in front. So it's a sort of your average first corner incident, right? Lap 1, turn 1.
Yep, as we look at Reiner at the moment, Reiner right behind looks like Andy King at the moment, and trying to make a move up the inside of King, but just not close enough to make the move. And I think if you're Reiner, you don't want to do anything too silly. You just want to just play the patient game, wait for maybe people in front of you to make a mistake. But it's one of those things. Passing around Valencia is such a difficult thing to do because there's not really many passing opportunities. The best passing opportunity is probably down this home straight that we're coming up to now, and heading down to turn 1. But even you could try and make a move into turn 2 if you can get a good run through turn 1.
Yeah, but it's really hard. I mean, you really need to get a lot more speed out of this corner, which is almost impossible. And then outbraking is, unless someone makes a mistake in front of you, that's where it works. Now he's on the inside, but the next corner is he's on the outside again. So.
But Andy's not giving this up, and they can.
Yeah, and Reiner needs to think the long game. He needs to win this championship, so he needs to stay in the race and not being punted out. So smart move by Reiner, because he needs to catch up to Leonardo if he wants to win the championship.
Yeah, absolutely, and if you're Reiner, it's frustrating being held up behind a slower car, but it's one of those things you don't want to take any silly risk or make any silly moves and possibly end up ruining your race and also your championship hopes. But it's one of those things. Where does Reiner make the move? He's tried everywhere to make the move. He came close to making the move on the exit of turn 2, but just Andy done a good job of defending.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I said, yeah, that was the bump that I said, okay, you can lose your car there if your suspension's too stiff. Oh, nicely held by Reiner. Really well braked.
Yep, a beautiful move by Reiner. He saw the opportunity, he went for the run and got the move done and into the final corner.
Yeah, but now
Anthony Campos, but I think needs to be careful of King because King could make the move into turn 2 or try it anyway.
Nicely driven, both. Oh, and Will Casson, he passed Patrick Söderqvist. So he's now in the hunt for Justin de Jong. So I'm not quite sure if we can ask our resident cameraman to actually give us a replay of that.
So it looks like Christoph Holzer made a move there and then basically lost the place again. So yeah, plenty of action throughout the field, and yeah, Christoph, one of those drivers that's been impressive this season. He's had the pace as well most of the season, and had some good results, and yeah, trying to make a move up inside of It looks like is that a lap car or is that Tamiro? So what's going on, Frank? It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, I was wondering if we can get a replay of the pass by Will Casson on Patrick Södergaard. Curious. Yeah, thanks. Because Will has the quickest time at the moment on track with a 1:31.542, and then Justin has has like 5,000ths of a second slower than that. So let's make that the same time almost. But Andrew Richardson is yeah, he's driving 1:32 once. So okay, so here we have the replay.
Yep, so it looks like Casson got the run, and I think Patrick, yeah, Patrick said,
Yeah.
oh, that was so close. Patrick just saw him coming and left just enough room for Will to get through. And I think at this point, Frank, Patrick's thinking of the bigger picture.
Yeah, he needs to just finish in front of Sam and he's okay, right? So, and for that you need to finish first. That's what they say, I think.
Yep, yeah, also Patrick's probably using as Christoph runs a bit wide there. I think Patrick's also using the Alan Prost mindset as well, of just finishing and picking up points.
Can I just say that Sam in position 15 in front of Nard already, and only like, what is it, about 8 seconds behind Patrick, is actually amazingly quickly done. How the hell did he do that?
I was thinking that as well. I wonder if Nard made a mistake somewhere. As just looking in the background, Nard is quite a long way back from, quite a way back from Sam.
I can imagine that Nard would have let Sam through if he came there, just because playing the team game. But overall, I mean, Sam was second to last, right? After the first corner. And he's now like virtually about 8 seconds behind his main rival for the championship. But that's not too bad.
Yeah, I was going to say that's an amazing recovery so far. As we've pretty much got about 38 minutes and 35 seconds left in this race, and amazingly, this race is just fly by with so much action going on. So, yeah, Sam's definitely not giving the championship up without a fight. That's for sure. As we look further back, Baz Van Mel, I swear, fair enough that Baz has not made his pit stop yet, but that's that's been an amazing first half of the race for him.
Yeah, because I think he started like second to last or third to last or something. He didn't have a really good qualifying. So then to just drive on that position now, it's not too bad. But I'm also wondering if the guys in front then did actually go on slicks.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, if they did go on slicks and decide to take a risk, I think that risk starting on slicks has definitely paid off. As checking the track stake, it's still that fast at the moment. So yeah, starting on slicks further back in the field might have just paid off for some of these guys up at the front.
Yeah, because if you look at Andrew's time, so Andrew and Thomas, they're also, and especially even Marius, they're really quick as well. So they're driving like these low 132s, high 131s, and Those are about the times that Justin de Jong is driving as well. So he's like 31 halves, same as Will. So I'm looking at Patrick Söderqvist is driving 132 once and Sam driving 131.8. So that's like 0.3 of a second in a lap. But he needs to put in quite a few of those laps to actually get back to Patrick's tail. And still have to pass people.
Excuse me, as I look at Sam at the moment coming up to the back of Oliver Anderson, and I think I think Oliver probably won't make this too difficult. He'll try and keep Seb behind him as long as possible, but obviously with Oliver, he's still doing decent in the semi-pro class, but I think it won't be too long before Sam gets by him, and he'll be up into 13th place by the looks of it. So Sam trying to gain as many positions as possible and not lose too many points, but as Oliver runs wide slightly, this will give Sam an opportunity to try and make a move. Will try and make a move up the inside of here into this corner. I think he tries to go for it. As Oliver goes a little bit wide there. Might have even been a slight bit of contact.
What's still funny is that I think we spoke about it last time. Is that I think in the overall standings, Oliver is third for the semi-pros, but he's fifth in the semi-pro standings.
I believe so. So it's been a good season for the Danish driver. So yeah, he's doing a good job in the race so far, and maybe just aiming to finish the race and pick up the points and see where he ends up in the standings. But as Sam's up into 14th place now, so he's not too. Just looking at the gap between him and Söderqvist, it's not. Yeah, it's came down slightly, but it's not dramatically. So Sam is definitely on a charge and trying to give it everything to try and get through the field and try and maybe get inside the top 10, and maybe even if he doesn't have any issues, try and close up to the back of Söderqvist. But I think that'll be a tough job.
Yeah, I think because now he's about 8, yeah, still about 8 seconds off. And he has about 34 minutes to try and catch up. Go 1.5 minutes per lap, 3:10, so that's 20 laps of 3/10, about 6 seconds. Oh. And Sam's gotten past Timo Zajdak already as well, so that's quick.
Yep, so yeah, Sam up into 13th place now, and the next car in front of him is Matt Redfern. But as I look at the battle for second place between Van Schijk and Dreisig as well, so yeah, Marius has been having a good race so far. Obviously, still got to make his pit stop, so it'll be interesting to see where he pans out after he's made his pit stop as well. So I think Dreisig at the moment, if he has a good pit stop, he could probably come back out in maybe the lower end of the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, we're sort of entering the pit stop range where you would normally expect a pit stop for a completely dry race. So that's around the 30-minute mark. So you would expect all the guys in front to sort of start taking a pit stop. Yeah, sort of into 1 or 2 laps. And if Marius thinks he's quicker than Thomas, he might decide to do an undercut and pit a bit earlier than Thomas to see if he can be a bit quicker on his outlap. But you see how he needs to work, right? So every corner it's almost like a bit of oversteer. Try to get the car pointing in the right direction again to get full on throttle. It's always this little snap that's required.
Yeah, so I wonder if Marius has set the car up to be maybe set the car up to be slightly pointy or slightly oversteery, as you see there again, just wrestling the wheel slightly on corner exit, and coming up coming up to the final corner, Adrian Campos, and yes, again it's just like a case of where does he make the move on the make the move if he gets an opportunity. Maybe when he gets to 30 minutes remaining, he might try and dive into the pits as he comes across the line for another lap. So yeah, obviously the top seven still need to make the pit stop. It looks like Marius is going for the move into turn one.
Yeah, but it's a hard one.
Oh, he's up. He's
Well helped, both of them. And now who dares brake later, right?
Yeah, as both of them still side by side as well. So
Yeah, but now Thomas has a bit of a better exit because he took the wider line. Yeah, and he needs to slide back in.
and that's the thing with turn two as well, Frank. If you can hold it on the outside, you can get a good exit holding it on the outside, because it gives you the advantage for being on the inside into the next couple of corners.
Yeah, for at least corner 4, so that's the corner Nico Terol. I do hope Leonardo is gonna be, because this was his sort of favorite track, right? As he's also from Spanish descent, so he's sort of Dutch Spanish, I think. So would be fun if he's on the podium here.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say as well. Leonardo is from Spain as well. So yeah, if he finishes on the podium overall here, it'll be a good result at his home track, as Marius is getting a bit frustrated there flashing the lights.
Oh yeah, that's you can be frustrated, but you can also make a pit stop and try something else, right?
Absolutely.
I don't think Thomas needs to go to the because he's semi-pro. He doesn't need to go on the. He doesn't need to move aside. Would be nice. I mean, they're not racing each other in a way. Not quite sure what in the overall standing where Thomas is located, but he's not that high, so he's on 23rd. Yeah, so he's not that high there, and he missed a race, so that doesn't help his overall standing as well.
Thomas is in the standings. Thomas is in. Let me check. He is in the 10th place in the semi-pro standings.
Yeah, 11th. Yeah.
11, sorry.
Yeah.
So,
but he's had some good results. He's like 4th and 5th in 2 races, and one time 14th on Mount Panorama. But it's probably collected at some point in some incident.
Indeed, as it looks like Thomas has got a drive-through penalty. Well, according to what it says on the timing standards, anyway.
Yeah, he's got to drive through too many track limits, apparently.
So yeah, I was about to say, it looks like that's due to the track limits and going off track too many times. So yeah, not super frustrating for the Dutchman, because he was having a great race.
Yeah. But like, I mean, this is a track where it's just so easy to make a track limit violation. Because there are a couple of corners where you need to try and take them as fast as you can. Just to keep the speed. And the moment you do it a bit wrong, you have a track limit. Because there's no braking once you sort of commit to it. Then you're unable to brake and sort of get out of it. So yeah, this is perhaps with the first one that's an official drive-through, but I would expect there to be more before we're done.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me if other drivers get drive-throughs for going off track too many times, as Bas van Melis and Verhoeven into the pits together as well, from P5 and P6 overall. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see where they come out as well after the pit stop, as some other people coming across the line. And I have to say, it's been an impressive race from Baz. He was up at pretty much inside the top 5 or top 6 for quite a long time in this race, and that gamble to start in slick tyres definitely paid off for him. So he'll probably emerge out of the pit stop, so within probably inside the lower end of the top 10 or just outside the top 10. So I'm guessing about 11 for 12th.
Yeah, so Buzz is now falling back and he's back on track on 12th position. Also still, oh, he's right behind Oliver. Oh, Nart is in between. That's a shame. That could have been the battle of the evening, right?
Yeah.
Screw everything else.
And,
Oscar and Oliver, we tune in for. Oh no.
Well, yeah.
Oliver, if you want to drive versus Boss, this is the way to do it, I must say.
So it looks like we've got Wolf Garcia and Thomas are into the pits as well. So, well, obviously, I think Thomas is still. Did Thomas have to pit again? Because obviously he had that drive-through as well.
And excuse me, but where did Boss go? In 20 seconds. So how did that all of a sudden happen?
Yeah, but because I'm sure I saw Baz come out round about P11 or P12. So I wonder if he might have made a mistake. Maybe cold tires, or just they ran what? Maybe I don't know. Maybe caught a bit of a wet curb or wet patch. But just looking at the track, it's completely dry.
Yeah, but you come in with new tires, and the spin is easily made, perhaps. I mean, the first corner is that tricky corner where you just overshoot the corner and turn a bit too much, and you try and bounce off the inside railing. So yeah.
So, and someone mentioned in the YouTube chat as well that Baz was in the pits for ages. So I wonder if they. Yeah, I wonder if Baz would maybe just put. Yeah, I'm confused.
Because he left it. I think he wasn't in the pit for ages, but then for some reason he just, or at least, maybe he was driving away because he was already green again.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I'm sure I saw him come out by just outside the top 10.
Did he make a mistake in trying to drive away? Because if okay.
The only other thing I can think of is maybe. I wonder if it's maybe a technical issue. Maybe ACC minimised and you had to bring it back up. Yeah, I'm confused. As Fredriksson's into the pits as well now to make his pit stop, and after that, Frank, all the drivers have made their pit stop as they've got just under 24 minutes remaining.
We have a surprising number 3 at the moment, which is Andrew Richardson, which sort of is unexpected. And we have Leonardo in front anyway of Reiner, with still Lucas Amaral and Redfern in front of him. So he might still make it to the podium, which would be fun.
So yeah, we just got confirmation that Baz's pit stop was 35 seconds. So yeah, I'm not sure what went on there. So yeah, I'm a bit confused by that. But as I look at Oliver Anderson at the moment, still going well into 12th place. He's about first, second, third, fourth, fifth in the semi-pro class. So still a good race for the Danish driver, as we've got a replay coming up of Baz on the pit exit, and so we're looking at Baz's outlap to see what happened, and I wonder if it looks fine here. So I wonder if he's made a mistake round about this section here and just. Nope, that's fine as well. So yeah, I'm a bit confused what's went on. So it's looking.
Or is that just Tim in front of him?
That's it. That's Fredriksson. So yeah, I'm not sure what's went on for Baz. So Baz has went through on Fredriksson, and I'm a bit confused because it all looks fine here.
We don't see too many BMWs driving, so it's a good thing to just watch a car like that drive for a while.
So I wonder,
Yeah,
yeah,
nothing
I'm
weird, but yeah. Okay, we'll catch up on that on the chat in Discord, I guess.
yeah,
We're gonna have to ask him.
yeah, I'm a bit confused by that. I'd say, wow, yeah. So not sure what happened there. As I look at a rider at the moment, currently 14th overall, and yeah, a Wolf Garcia is still in front of him after the pit stop. So I wonder, yeah, that's I wonder what the point standings with both of those two in the semi-pro class will be. I think that will be really close, but I think if I'm correct, Wolf Garcia needs to finish in front of Ryder to take the championship.
Yeah, I think because the point difference in one position, I think at that point is 3 points. So you have 25, 21, 20, and then 18, 15, 13, 10, or 11, 10, 8, 9, 8, 6, 7, 6. Yeah. So yeah, if the position stays as it is, and even if Reiner is in a position just behind Leonardo, he would still, I think, lose because there's a 2-point difference. It seems at the moment that Leonardo is doing everything as he should.
Absolutely, as I look, excuse me, as I look at the battle between Fredriksson and Fredriksson, and it looks like Van de Kraan as well. So yeah, Fredriksson's just took that position, and yeah, but basically it was not a class position. So I think Van de Kraan just basically decided not to make a big fight of it. But
But I also
yeah,
think there's a nice battle going on for position number 5 with Lucas Amaral, and then I think with Mike Redfern, and then Sam and Leonardo, they're all really close to this. So
yep. So yeah, amazing to think, Frank, that considering that Svenkamp was basically facing the wrong way around at the start of the race, he's done absolutely fantastic to get back up to 7th place overall. So then they get up into 7th place overall, and yeah, pretty much needs to he needs to try and get by Redfern and Amaral to try and start closing that gap down to Sodakit. But I think at this point of the race, Sodakit's just pretty much playing the safe game and just aiming to finish.
now, the funny thing is, of course, in this moment, actually, Sam is driving behind Patrick directly because they're in the same class. So that would mean that the difference is now 3 points, and that would then turn into 6, I guess. So, but I think there's going to be a pass or a try to pass here by Sam. Yeah. Well done. Very nicely done.
So Sam up into P6 now. So yeah, the Dutchman not wasting any time getting by, and the next car in front of him is look at Amaral. So yeah,
he's quite a bit away, so
so
that's gonna take a lot of work to actually catch Luca.
there's a look at Andrew Richardson as well, and you have to, I have to say there's been some points this season in the races at Frank that it's been relatively quiet for Andrew, but I think this is his best. This is his best drive of the season so far, up in 2nd place, and he's closing down Justin Dion.
Yeah, he's doing a brilliant drive. Up till now, I think he's actually had He didn't have a really terrible season. I think his first race he came in third, but then a 7th, 10th, and did not finish position. So I think he quit or stopped in Bathurst, I guess. So yeah, I came in 12th. Oh wait, sorry, I'm doing it wrong. It's he got in position 14, 10, 7, and 12. Andrew. So actually now being in position number 2 is a really good position for him this year.
Indeed, and yeah, good to see him having a good race, and he's as you see right there, he's definitely closing that gap down to Dion in front of him. So I wonder if Dion is took the life in his tyres are pretty much gone, and he's having to look after the tyres as much as possible, not back off. But I think at this point of the race, with Richardson making his pit stop much later and being on the fresher tyres, it's definitely given him an advantage to push and close that gap.
Oh, definitely. It makes a lot of difference if you're driving on tires from 15 minutes old or 30 minutes old. So, and that's, I think, the difference here. So.
And the gap on this lap is 1.1 seconds. So definitely not wasting any time, Richardson. He's definitely pushing, and the question is, so if he closes up to Dion, the wages to make the move, obviously the best opportunities are through into turn 2, but I think Justin is not going to make it easy to get by any means, and he'll definitely put up a fight. So yeah, if Richardson closes up to the back of Dion, they expect fireworks.
Yeah, but looking at last lap, the speed difference is 0.1, so or the lap difference, which of course isn't a lot, but it's still, if Andrew can actually give his best time, which is a 1:31.1, and that's like almost half a second quicker than the best time of Justin. So if he can actually put in those laps, then he's going to be running into Justin rather quicker than later. So.
Yeah, as our director just having a bit of a joke around in the background there, and but looking at the gap now, it's just under a second, Frank, and again, I think Justin is definitely struggling with tyres at this point of the race, and I think Justin definitely sees that he could be struggling in some places, and they
did a similar lap time now.
So maybe Justin's not struggling with tyres, but maybe just looking after them a little bit.
I think it's they're both pushing, I think, as hard as they can. I mean, looking at their fastest times, especially from Justin, I think his fastest time was a 1:31.5, and this was a 1:31.6. So it's only about 8 tenths in between. So Justin is pushing as hard as he can, trying to keep Andrew behind him. Which is as it should be, right? If you're going for the win. So.
Yeah, and just watching the onboard of Andrew as well. He's absolutely, yeah. It looks like he's moving the car around, and watching the steering inputs as well. I think the way he's steering as well, and his inputs he needs to be careful, because he's going to use up his front tyres, as someone else mentioned in chat. I think in the chat that's Chris Vickers, I believe. So yeah, I think I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, but if you look at if you have a 30-minute race, the tires can handle quite a bit of abuse in 30 minutes. I think you can really push the tires to as much as they can go. So I don't think you can actually overuse the tires for a 30-minute race. I think they have enough life in them to abuse them any way you like.
Indeed, as further back in the field, we've got a battle going on between looks like Fredriksson and Andy King as well. So Fredriksson up to P15 overall now, and up another position in the semi-pro class. So Yeah, the Norwegian definitely putting on a late race charge, and the next car in front of him is it looks like it's going to be Peters as well. So yeah, the Norwegian definitely on a charge and could gain more positions towards the end of this race. And yeah, it's for the Norwegian, it's been an up and down season for him. Obviously, I can't remember what race it was. He had a great result in the early stages of the season, but it's just yeah, sometimes but good luck's not being on his side, and it looks like he's about to make another move.
I think there's also going to be a move perhaps by Marius on Sam. I think they're really battling as well.
Indeed, so yeah, whoa, looks like Marius has got by Sam as well. So yeah, I think I wonder if Sam made a mistake or if Marius has just been put. As we go back to Marius and Sam now, both of them side by side, and this is not what Sam needed with obviously trying to get back through the field to get as many positions as possible to try and help him in the championship. But I think at this stage of the race, Frank, it's just yeah, it's just about for Sam anyway. It's just a matter of getting as many positions back, and it's just kind of just trying to salvage kind of like repair the damage in a way.
Yeah, but the Merc is so quick on this track. I find it really nice actually that the Merc is this quick, because normally you would see the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, or the what is it, the McLarens. Those have been, I think, the sort of go-to cars, and to actually see the Mercedes here as well is really nice to be so strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Mercedes seems to be suiting this track really well, as proven by Justin Dion up at the front, and also Marius Marius in sixth place as well, seventh place. Sorry, the Mercedes seems to be suiting this track quite well. I wonder if it could be just the characteristics of the track and also the car. As yeah, just Watson as well. Marius put in the fastest lap of the race as well. So yeah, the jump. Oh, as Sam goes defensive. That was I don't know. I don't know if that was maybe. I don't know if that was maybe more than one move or slightly more than one move. That was a bit on the edge of defending or blocking.
Oh well, all fair in racing, right?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
otherwise, let the stewards decide. Yeah, that's.
But yeah, I think that was a fair defensive move, but it was a bit, a bit robust, I think. But either way, yeah, both of them managed to survive, and I think at this stage of the race, I think Sam's starting to just feel a little bit of frustration there, and I can understand why after being in contention for the championship. But yeah, he's always got next season to come back and try and go for the championship again. But I think at this stage of the race, it's just like I say, it's just a matter of trying to salvage a good result.
Yeah, but looking at the, I mean, what Sen would need to do is actually, yeah, get closer to Luca, and he's not been able to manage that. I think, especially now with all the fighting going on, he's losing quite a bit of time. So I think at one point the gap was like 6 seconds to Luca, and now it's 10.
Yeah, so I would, excuse me, I wonder if Sen's used up his tyres now, just trying to get through the field as much as possible, and I think he's paying for it now with Marius being right in the back of him, and will Marius try and make a move? He thinks about it, tries to show his nose, and tries to intimidate Sam a little bit. So it looks like both of them are going side by side, and can Marius pull the move off on the outside? If he can hold on the outside, he might be able to pull it off, as they're both side by side, and it looks like
This is so fun.
fantastic racing between the two of them. As it looks like behind them as well, they've got Wolf Garcia.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was able to close up really quick during all the fighting. Because he was actually quite a bit away from them.
Yeah, I was good to say. I think Wolf Garcia was had a bit of a there was a big gap to Wolf Garcia, and then basically with Marius and Sen battling away, it's allowed Wolf Garcia to close the gap and join in the fun. But I think Wolf Garcia needs to think of the championship for the semi-pro class because he's in a perfect position. So I think he doesn't want to take any risks.
No, and Sam's last lap was like a 1:33.9, where his fastest lap has been a 1:31.8. So, yeah, the battling cost him quite a bit of time.
Indeed, as we're riding on board with Marius as well, and starting to pull away from Sem now. So I think Sem is definitely struggling at this point with 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this race. So I have to say that was a great move by Marius, so to pull that off. As again, Marius is putting a fastest lap of the race.
Fastest lap is still a 1:31.170, which is immensely quick for racing conditions. And I think it's like 2.5 hundredths of a second quicker than Andrew's time, which was the former quickest lap. So there's not much between them anyway.
So look at that. Go ahead, Frank.
No, yeah, no, you go ahead. It's a replay that was offered to us for Dario Vianello, because he made the slight mistake, which is an easy mistake to make, and then yeah, you lose it and you get launched into the railing on the other side. So is he even driving away? Yes, he is. But you can get quite a lot of damage from that.
But yeah, as I look at Marius as well, he's definitely pulled away from Spankelink and Wolf Garcia now, and it's one of those situations you're in. What do you do if you're Leonardo? Do you try and make a move, or do you just stay behind Sem and just think of the bigger picture? With obviously he's got a decent gap behind him now, so he doesn't want to take any risks.
I think I was in a sort of a similar situation last year when I was going for the M title, and then I just took it easy. But yeah, that's not the way to take it easy, right?
Yeah, I think that'll probably
Saved.
That little moment through that corner over the curb, I would definitely wake Leonardo up and tell him to be sensible and not take any risks.
No, if you've been there and you lose the championship because of that, that would be a shame, right?
Absolutely. As I look at the battle between the Ryder and the Terje as well, the 13th and 14th overall, and the inside the top 10 in the semi-pro class, and I think for Ryder as well, I think it'll be a case of this race is a case of what could have been with being in contention for the championship.
Yeah, but look also at Terje's race, because he started last in the first lap, or in the he qualified last. So he's had a very decent race to get up to Reiner as well.
As second and third place are going at it now, and at one point it looked like Andrew Ritson was closing the gap up to Justin Dion, but that's popped back up to about round about the 1 second mark. So Andrew Ritson, I think, struggling now, and it looks like Will Carson is right behind him now. So Will Carson, I think, if he senses an opportunity to try and go for a move and move up to second place, I think he'll go for it. I think his best opportunity might be on the exit of the final corner, the exit of Adrian Campos. Maybe try and make a move down the home straight, but both these drivers seem to be very, very evenly matched. As we've just been told that Marius Dreisig has made a move on look at Amaral and is up into P5 now.
Wasn't there a huge gap like 10 seconds between. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. We've got just under 2 minutes left in this race, so is it? Whoa! Oh, that was a bit of a squeaky bum time. Oh, that was how. Well, I have no idea how that never ended up in an incident, but yeah, Wall definitely sent it. That's for sure.
Well, I guess he expected a bit more speed through the corner, and yeah, a few misjudged because Will is driving really quick laps. I think at one point he was driving like 6/10 quicker than Andrew a lap. So that's he seems to be getting quicker and quicker, where Andrew seems to be getting slower.
Indeed, as yeah, Richardson and Carson are still close together, and I think Wall's only got pretty much one more lap, and a few more opportunities to try and make a move, but he's just not close enough. I think again, if he could try and get a good run in the exit of the final corner and carry that speed down the straight, he might be able to make a move into turn one or even turn two. But I think Richardson as well doing a great defensive job as well. As it looks like, yeah, this will be the next lap will be the next lap will be the last lap, I should say, for Justin Dion, and yeah, there's been fantastic racing throughout the field, Frank, and a great way to round out the season.
Yeah. This is I think this is one of the most event-filled races and the most fun to watch at almost from the whole year. To be honest, I find so. I think it's amazing racing that we've seen. It's been, I'm not quite sure how it is about you, but this hour has just flown by.
Yeah, absolutely, and as what's at the bottom of the screen, does Justin Dion on his final lap. Yeah, it's pretty much been a great drive by the Dutchman. He's done pretty well. As you see in the background there, the battle between Richardson and Carson. Did Will just not? Every time he gets close enough, you can't get close enough to make a move and make a move up the inside. It just seems to be on the exit of the slow speed corners that Richardson has the advantage.
Yeah, the braking by Will is really good. So within the braking zones, he just closes up, but then on the exits, Andrew is now pulling away.
Indeed, as we watch the bottom of the screen, the Dutchman Justin Dion flashing the lights coming into the final corner into Adrian Campos. And Justin Dion, it's been a great drive by the Dutchman to round off the season, and weaving across the track, coming across the line, and it's a brilliant drive and a brilliant victory for Justin. And as the battle for second place comes across the line, and
really well done.
Richardson just holds on. So yeah, what a battle.
Patrick closing in as our season champion.
Yeah, Patrick Sodekert, the German from Wild Fins Racing, comes across the line to become the new champion in the GT3 Pro class. And a great season by Patrick after a bit of bad luck at the start of the season, but he's managed to rebound and turn his luck around. And unfortunate for Sam Spankelink, who put up a good fight, and I think he'll be feeling real frustrated because he was in contention but just got tagged in turn 2 on lap 1.
Yeah, well, I think he's just gonna think on his quali. That's where I think he lost it, where Patrick did a really good lap in the first 5 minutes. That's where Sam didn't do it, and I think that lost him the race for that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely, and they are looking forward to hearing from Patrick as well, and also Patrick as well, to hear his thoughts, how he feels on taking the championship, and also Wolf Garcia. And if we get an opportunity, it might be worth speaking to the Wildfern Racing owner, Denise Pope, as well, to get her thoughts, because obviously she's one of the main people behind running the team, and always does a good job. And if you haven't checked out any of our livery stuff on ACC, definitely check it out. But your thoughts, Frank, on this season? It's been fantastic to watch. It's been great racing, and yep, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And how about yourself?
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it too. As a first-time broadcaster, this was amazing to do as well. And the racing has been really, really great, especially because, of course, I'm driving in the Tier 2, and you know how hard it is, and then you see how quick these guys are, and you're like, well, that's way out of my league anyway. And then it's just amazing how they find the time and how steady they are in their racing. It's been brilliant stuff. Loved it. And also now in the changing conditions, people were doing really, really good. Only one drive-through, I think, right? Which is a surprise.
Yeah, there was only one drive-through and a couple of stop-and-go penalties, so that's not a bad way to round out the season. And the driving throughout the field, especially in the early stages in the wet, was really good. There was a couple of incidents in the wet, but I think it was just some drivers just being caught out slightly. But overall, the race has been really, really good this season, and next season I'm looking forward to being back in the commentary box if Mr. Hill will have me.
Okay, let's pull in a few guys that are waiting in the pre-shed. So let's drag everyone in. That's nicest, I guess, right? So
absolutely,
I'll just pull everyone in.
We've got several drivers here, but obviously I think with the race winner, we'll start off with Justin Dion. And Justin, that was a fantastic drive by yourself, and pretty much commanding. How do you feel?
I'm feeling pretty good, obviously. Finally managed to get a win here. I had a shitty season this season, so 3 of the tracks I didn't drove there before, and one track I had, could have a good ending up position, but I had some technical issues. So I really needed a good result. So everything worked out pretty well. And
obviously, looking ahead to the race as well, it was wet and qualified, and it was wet in the early stages of the race. Did you do anything in particular or special on the setup to drive in the wet, or did you just go with a dry setup and just hope for the best?
It was a dry setup because it was very warm and the rain almost stopped. So I had a feeling in a few laps the track will get very fast, come back to the dry tires. But I had very low fuel at the start of the race. I was starting on about 20 liters of fuel, I think. So it was a little bit too less, in my opinion. I rather had to do some more laps in the first half of the stint, but so I had to pit a little bit too early, so I had to manage the tires the rest of the race, and hoping in the end they will come back, and the tires came back in the end, so I could push because Casson and Richardson were closing in very fast, so it was just all about tire management and trying to keep it clean.
And obviously that brings me on to my next question as well, with regards to Andrew and Will. You saw them closing down on you. Were you still pushing, or were you looking after your tyres slightly?
No, I was looking after my tires until they came within 1.5 to 1 second. There's where I start pushing. I was also letting them close because I knew I need to have the tires at the end. If I push everything out of it now and destroy my tires, it will hurt me so much in the end of the race. So my only thing was just to manage the gap. That was my only focus.
And obviously, with it being the last round of the season, and looking ahead to the new season, do you plan on coming back?
Yeah, I think I will come back next season.
And
Yeah.
with that as well, any hints, or have you hints on what car you'll be using, what manufacturer?
I'm not sure at the moment. Maybe I will go back to the McLaren. I like that car a lot. So taking the Pork in the previous season and now the Merc was going out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I don't really know at the moment what I will take for next season, but yeah, let's see.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on the race win tonight, Justin, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the grid next season. And in whatever car you decide to go with, and hopefully we'll see you up there challenging for the championship.
Yeah, hopefully I can do a little bit better next season, and yeah, hope for the best. And thank you very much for commentating.
It's our pleasure, Justin, and as that was race winner Justin Dion joining us, and I was going to go to Andy Ritchson or Will Carson, but I think I'll go to the championship winner first for the GT3 Pro class, Patrick Sodica. And first off, Patrick, congratulations on the championship. How does it feel? Is it sank in yet?
Thank you very much, mate. Yes, I think so. I'm more than happy, to be honest. That was a really tough race, and I did some mistakes that they weren't necessary. And yeah, but I'm more than happy. I'm really, really happy that it turned out like it turned out. Yeah.
Obviously, as well, in the early stages of the race, especially on lap 1, you seemed to get swamped a little bit. What was the mindset when that happened? Were you thinking about the championship, or did you just come into the race of whatever happens? And also, obviously, did you get notified or told by anyone from the team that Sam was having issues and got spun on lap 1?
It was all myself. I definitely thought about the championship when the race started, yeah. But that I lost a few places in the first lap basically just were tiny mistakes. Like when the race started, I missed the start by like just a tiny bit, and that was basically a freebie for Will then, I believe. And then in the next turn, I took the outside line and got pushed off a tiny bit, and that just, I don't know, I took a little hit to the confidence there and just took it easy. I saw that Sam didn't have the greatest quali, so I thought like better take it easy and not do anything stupid. And yeah, that was my lap 1 basically.
And yeah, kind of reviewing your season as well. How do you feel it went for you? Do you think there was any any improvements or any improvements in some areas that you think you could do or you could improve on for next season if you come back?
I think I definitely learned a lot, to be honest, especially when it comes to strategy and just like getting, I don't know, like the racecraft to put a whole race together when the field is close is just, it's not that easy. And I'm used to more endurance racing where you're racing with a team, and then I don't know, it's just something different than a solo championship. And yeah, I think I definitely learned to get my strategy right and how to play a race down. It's, yeah, I think I learned a lot a lot this season, and I'm definitely planning to come back.
And yeah, lastly, Patrick, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out or a thank you to?
This time I definitely have to thank Marcel Tamo from Get Quick E-Racing. I was really, really bad at Valencia. I just couldn't figure the track out, and he helped me a lot. He guided me through, sent me a setup, and did laps with me. So that was super, super helpful. So he definitely deserves a shout out this race.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on the championship, Patrick. Yeah, it's been a great season for yourself, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you on the grid next season to defend your championship.
Thanks a lot.
As that was the GT3 Pro champion, Patrick Sodikit, joining us, and up next we've got the second place finisher, Andrew Richardson, and Andrew, I have to say that was a great race from yourself. I think that's your best result of the season, I believe, and that battle of you and Will in the closing stages was absolutely fantastic to watch.
Hey Ryan, good evening. Yeah, that's as you say, best result of the season for me, and I'm over the moon with P2, to be honest. I don't have the pace of these guys at the front. They are undoubtedly quicker than me, but I nailed the strategy today, and that really paid off.
Yeah, coming into the race as well, obviously there was wet conditions in qualifying and also the early stage of the race. What was your mindset or strategy heading into the race? Was it kind of just see what happens and see where you end up? Because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you started on slick tyres, and I think that definitely paid off when I saw you up at the front in the top three.
Yeah, that's correct. So, as we saw in qualifying, it started dry and then got wet, and the track took quite a long time to get fully wet, because it's so warm. It was so warm today, so I gambled on it drying up very quickly and decided I was starting on dry tyres, normal pressures, full dry setup, and my plan was just hang on to it for the first few laps, and then hopefully in the second stint, after the guys who started on wets would have had to pit early, I'd have better tyres and see what I can do. But it turned out from about halfway round the first lap, I think I had the pace on most of the guys on wet tyres. Obviously you have to be very careful of the curbs still, so I was taking my time with my overtakes, not doing anything silly, make sure I didn't get pushed wide. And it really paid off. Just, head down for this first stint and came out in P2. Now I was catching Justin. I'm a bit upset. He said that he was saving his tyres because I thought I was doing a great job, but no, fair play to Justin. He had the pace on me, and yeah, at the end, as he say, he sort of picked up the pace just as my tyres started falling off. So yeah, but last few laps, as you say, Will caught up with me and was catching fairly rapidly, and I just focused on defending then, and definitely slowed down and forgot about Justin and just focused on coming home P2.
Yeah, so obviously when we saw Will caught up to you, were you struggling on tyres, or was it just Will had that a little bit more pace, a little bit more tyre life, if you like? And also, what was the mindset when he caught up to you? Was it just kind of just defend fairly and stick your place in places that he couldn't pass?
Yeah, so I'd been watching the gap to Will as I was closing in on Justin. I could see that he was coming with me. I wasn't really pulling away much, maybe a tiny bit at the start when I had really fresh tyres, but then he sort of pegged the gap, and yeah, my tyres weren't very good towards the end. I think I'd pushed too hard trying to catch Justin. So yeah, Will was certainly, I felt as if he had the better tyres at the end, and he was closing me down fast. So yeah, as I say, I just focused on defending. I knew there was no way I was getting P1, so just try my best to defend, focus on my exits out all the corners, try not to outbrake myself, which I seem to do at every corner when he caught up, and yeah, just bring it home.
And as I've asked the other drivers, Andrew, are you planning to be back next season? And if so, what is your car of choice that you plan to go with?
Yeah, I'll I'll definitely be back next season. I haven't given too much thought to my chariot for the season. I'm thinking not the McLaren. I've been struggling jumping between the McLaren and the BMW in the Endurance Series. They drive very differently, and it takes me quite a while to recalibrate when I switch between the two. So I'll probably move to a similar car for both championships.
Great to hear, and again, congratulations on second place, Andrew. We look forward to seeing you on track next season, and hopefully we'll see you up there challenging at the front for podium finishes, and basically it'll be nice to see you on track again.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thanks, Ryan, and thanks for everyone who worked so hard to put this series on. It's much appreciated.
That was Andrew Richardson finishing in second place, joining us, and up next we have got third place finisher Will Casson joining us, and I'll have to say you definitely closed down Andrew rapidly, and it just seemed to be every time you got close you just couldn't make the move. Was it just Andrew doing a good defensive job, or was it just he had that slight bit more pace?
He defended really, really well. I think by the time I caught up to him, my tyres were about 35 laps old as well, because I had to pit really early. I had a bit of a disaster with the strategy. He defended really well. I thought I'd had the switch back on him going into turn 1, and he parked it really nice on the apex. We had a little door bang. Just defended really well.
And obviously, with the wet track conditions as well, did that affect your strategy for the race, or did you already have a strategy set in mind before the race started?
Strategy was a disaster, to be honest. I didn't do any wet running, so went out at the end of qualifying to get the pressures. Then it started the race, and obviously it jumped forward, so it was going to dry. So I was going to go out with dry tyres, and at the last minute I decided, right, I'll go out with wets because I don't know how long it'll take to dry up. And as we pulled off the grid, it stopped raining. So I was driving around with about 34 psi tyres for 5 laps, trying to hang on for as long as possible, and then had to pit sort of earlier than I liked because I was just losing like 2 seconds a lap to the people that had started on dries.
Yeah, obviously you saw that some people were starting on slicks, some people were starting on wets. Did you make any adjustments on the setup for the weight as well, or did you just basically stick with what you had? Maybe a setup that was for dry conditions.
Yeah, it was a dry setup. I mean, because it was all soft suspension anyway, it's quite kind to the wet, so you don't really need to change too much. It was just fiddling about with the TC and the ABS, and then switching it back when it dried up properly.
And then when you caught up at the closing stages, when you caught up to Andrew, did you have in your mind any places or corners that you decide you're going to make a move if you got a run, or were you just waiting for Andrew to make a mistake? Because I think at one point towards the end you closed up into the final corner, and had a slight bit of contact from what we saw. Was that just you trying to make a move, or trying to maybe unsettle Andrew, or was it just you just carried too much speed?
Just carried too much speed. I saw we'd gone deep in that corner the lap before, so I thought, right, I'll tuck up behind him and try and get sort of like a run out the final corner, and then just triggered the ABS and slid all the way down the hill, and then had a little bit of contact with him, which I think unsettled him coming out the final corner. And then the lap after that was when I had the run on him going into turn 1. But again, he just defended really well, parked on the apex, and not much you can do from there. And then after that, because it was the last lap, I sort of settled for third by that point. I know I wasn't going to be able to get him. My only hope was that he was going to have caught De Jong, but obviously he managed his tyres well, so had the pace in the locker at the end.
And just looking back to your season as well, do you think it's went as well as expected, or do you think there was some races that you think you had the potential to get a better result, or is it just as it went as well as expected?
Some absolute disasters this season. I put it on pole at Brands, and then slid right off into the gravel in the first corner. And then as I rejoined the track, had contact with someone and got into the wall. So I definitely could have had a better result there. And then in Mount Panorama, I went for a really ambitious move around the outside of Clay on lap 1. And ended up stacking it into a wall, and then stacked it going down the mountain. So I had to repair like 20 seconds of damage and managed to come home 4th. So I think there was definite room for improvement. Making it around the first corner would have been ideal.
And I've asked some other drivers as well. Is there plans to return for next season?
I'm not sure about next season. I've got a lot going on for like work and stuff, and other events coming up, and I'm going on holiday, so I don't think I can commit to all of the races, but potentially the season after that, definitely.
Great to hear. Well, congratulations on third place, Will, and if we don't see you on track next season, we definitely look forward to seeing you back at some point in the future, and again, congratulations on the top 3.
Yeah, cheers, boys, and thank you for commentating and everything, and for SSRI for just sorting it out for the season. It's been an absolute pleasure.
As that was the third place finisher, Will Casson, joining us, and do you fancy doing the semi-pro class interviews, Frank?
Oh, that's fine. So, well, it's I think first off with the championship winner. Perhaps and second place, third place, don't even know. Leonardo.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Good evening. Hi.
Good evening. Well, that's perhaps went better than expected.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It was quite okay, I suppose, for a first season. No, I'm definitely very happy with the whole championship in the end. I think besides what was it? I think Kota didn't go so well, but furthermore, every race I think I landed a podium place, or I think in Brands I was 4th. Yeah, in the end I might not have been the quickest in my class. I think not in one race I managed to qualify in the top 3, but here I am as the winner, so yeah, the speed is not always what counts, I suppose.
Yeah.
No, I was just quite constant and careful here and there. Today I also I started on slicks. I was preparing everything for wets. Hadn't practiced one lap, didn't have a setup whatsoever, so I just drove a few laps with my race setup and wet tires during the qualifying, just to try and find out the pressures. And in the end, when I saw that it got damp, I think, and it stopped raining just a minute or two before the race started, I decided to turn it all around again. Just started with my standard plan, just put the pressures a bit higher to start off, and I think it paid off in the end. First lap was a bit chaotic as always in the rain. I think Sam and Marius turned just in front of me, so thank God I was really careful. But yeah, obviously someone passes you left, another one right, then another one left, while you're just trying to zigzag in between the cars out of the curve, and that's when I saw my competitor, who was just in front of me, passing me again, and I thought, fuck, okay, that's it then. But I think even in the same lap or a lap later, I guess he spun out or had an accident with someone, I don't know. So I passed him again, and didn't see him anymore. So I thought, okay, let's just focus on driving safely, bring this home. And I don't know, I guess because of the strategy and everything, I just started gaining more and more positions, and it's stage racing, so I saw the podium there, then I saw second place, and I thought, okay, you know what, let's grab that one as well. And yeah, happy it worked out in the end. But yeah, just couldn't pass Sem in the last I don't know, what was it, 10 laps or so. Felt like an eternity. He was obviously on used, yeah, his tires were totally used, I suppose, worn out, and still I couldn't pass him. And yeah, I saw number one Amaral always, yeah, just getting closer and closer, but yeah, we couldn't pass him in the end. So yeah, second place today and win overall. More than happy.
Yeah, because we saw, I think your sort of we thought, okay, is he gonna pass or is he gonna take it easy? And then at that corner Champions, where you had this all of a sudden this sort of bump, where you almost lost the car in one of the last laps.
Ooh,
we were like,
yeah.
Okay, is that a wake up call for him now?
Yeah, that was a big Code Brown moment, and yeah. I think it yeah, the feeling lasted for half a lap, and then I started thinking, yeah, whatever, let's just keep on going. But yeah.
Yeah, because you closed in again on Sam, I think, rather quickly after that, right?
Yeah, true. No, I think we managed to really catch up up to I don't know, half a second or something. We just in the very end we passed. Yeah, past the line. I think within a second or 1.5 seconds of each other with the three of us. So yeah, was a lot of fun. Great racing. It's always fun with changing conditions, and yeah, always just remains yeah, how do you say that? Spannend. Exciting. Yeah.
So, and any plans then for the next season, or are you going to join?
Yeah, I think I signed up yesterday or the day before yesterday, so we'll see. We can still change cars, right?
Yeah, I think just before you need to sort of lock it in before the season starts.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I signed up with the McLaren.
Are you planning on changing cars?
Yeah, I signed up with the McLaren, but yeah, to be fair, I haven't really driven it yet, so I'll have to test it first, and yeah, we'll see if I like it. I'll stick with it. I really enjoyed the Lamborghini, but it's just such a hustle to pass anyone, and it's just so easy being passed on straights. The thing is just so slow. So it's been quite stable. It's been a lot of fun because you can really push it, but I don't know. For next season, I'm thinking. Yeah, maybe get something that has a bit more oomph, and
that is a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Nissan GTR.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a rocket ship.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big change. So I think I'll remain with a mid-engine car, and not just change to a to a monster.
Yeah, but the monster is quick now, so
yeah,
at least that's what I notice in the tier 2 now.
Yeah, I can still give it a try and test it. Maybe, who knows? Maybe you'll see me next. When is it? In 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's. I think we just talked about it. It's the 26th of March. I think the new season starts. So okay. You have 3 weeks. So
we'll see.
Okay. Well, so congratulations again on the season, and see you then next season, Leonardo.
Okay. Hey, thanks for hosting and commenting everything, and yeah, keep up the good work with the whole team.
It's a pleasure.
See you next season.
I think
Bye-bye.
I can speak for everyone. Okay, bye. And then we have Mr. Oliver Anderson, Mr. 101.
Yes, of course.
Hello.
Of course.
How was your race?
Well, bad qualifying. The rain hit me as I was improving by 3 tenths, and that killed my final run there. So started far back. I think when Nard tried an overtake, I was maybe sim in turn 2. I was caught on the outside of that and lost a little bit. Boxed on the first lap for dries. I realized that my strategy wanted me to go on my tire sets of 1 on the dries, which were obviously used, and I think a lot of people fell for that in the race and they took their tire sets 1. I know that at least Van der Gran, he ended up on the unused sets for the race after the rain period, which hurt him. Then had a reasonable race, overtook a Nard, caught up to Timo Sitek, who definitely was on used tires with that slow pace. Then there was he had a lot of ping in the race, and he was rubber banding a little bit back and forward. So when I tried one of my moves on him, it looked like on my screen that I was on the inside of him, and I had the braking done all right. And then all of a sudden, he just spawns ahead of me with like, boom, like a blink of an eye. He was then ahead of me and already turning into the corner where I was. And then we had a little bit of contact there, and luckily only I spun in that. And then I caught up to him later in the race and overtook him. Which could be important, as in my calculations on SimGrid, then I've beaten out Halser for 3rd in semi-pro. Though on the web page I'm a little bit more.
Yeah, you were 3rd on the totals and 5th in the semi-pros. We checked it. I'm not quite sure what you're going to be after this one.
On the web page, but I think that the web page and SimGrid were a little bit different. But I feel like that overtake on Sitek might have ended up pulling up to a draw with Halser. As on SimGrid, I think I beat him by 2 after this, and I think there are 2-point difference on SimGrid and our web page on the scorings and semi-pro for some reason, though for me at least. So it could end up in a draw and a count back on results between Halser and I.
So there was 8 points between you on our leaderboard.
Yeah.
So. Did you? I'm not quite sure where Christoph Holzer ended.
He ended quite far back because I talked to Martin van der Gran during the race, and he had him behind him, and he was at least 6 or 7 positions down to me. So it will be very close on points there. So we'll just wait for the tally to be counted up and seeing whether or not that I can pop the champagne and celebrate a 3rd in the championship, or if I have to put it on hold for next season maybe.
Oh, well, it would be fun if you actually make it. Because at one point we were actually still thinking, okay, because Bas he went out on dries, I think, and then he had a really late pit stop. And then when he fell back, we thought he came out really just behind you after the pit stop. And then we don't know what actually happened, but all of a sudden he was another 8 places back or something. So that was just really funny. We were all looking forward to the battle between you and Bas, and then that didn't happen.
Bas and I have talked about that all season, that we never get to see each other on track, even though we are quite often quite similar in pace. But it is. But I actually think that the strategy of starting on the dries would have been the correct one in this particular race, as you could have had the fresher tires later in the race as well to go hunt down positions. But truth be told, I probably wouldn't change my strategy if I had to go back, as I did get a lot of clean air running in early. I would probably go back and not take the damage repairs that I forgot to take off the car, as that lost me 3 seconds, and that effectively lost me the immediate track position to Timo Sitek and one other driver in the semi-pros after the pit. So yeah, that's the only thing that I would change. But I think that, truth be told, that the starting on dry strategy was the best one. I looked on ACC Drive, and on my ACC Drive, it did say that the rain would continue at least 7 minutes into the race before it would change. So I was a little bit surprised when it changed so early. So yeah, it is what it is. You know, they played the chances and they won it on that one. So it's pretty good.
It's been so. How has now the total season been for you? If you look back at it,
roller coaster. Race 1, I was taken out on lap 1. That caused me a lot of damage and got immediately pushed down 1 lap in that one. You know, and that's when I just thought it's just gonna be a silly season, just try and get some results. Kota was okay, an okay race. I think I could have done better on that one, but I do think that I scored 4th or something like that in that one. So good round there, and then of course Brent's Hatch with the probably my best SSRI performance ever, snatching 5th overall in the race and obviously winning the semi-pro. Bad one last time out at Bathurst, got involved in the crash early. I should have continued championship wise, and I did, but then I crashed it myself 2 times. which sort of just meant that I couldn't take it anymore. And I don't know what. I think it's after the original pit stop, after the big crash, that I thought to myself that I just had to push it as hard as possible to see if I could gain anything in the race. But obviously, that's not the thing to do on Mount Panorama.
No.
So I binned it and then boxed a second time and binned it again. And that was a retirement from that race. And then, of course, today I didn't do much practice before the race. I think I had like 20 laps in total of practice earlier today, and then with the practice on the server, of course. So it was good to see the performance of the McLaren. Probably the last time that I'll be racing that car for quite a while. That would have served me well.
Are you going to change cars?
Yes, I have put a little bit of a tease out for the livery in the SSRI GT3 liveries.
Oh, so we need to check that out. That's what you mean.
Oh yes. I think it will be a surprising car for a lot of people, that it will make its great return, even though it's still not up there as a good car yet.
So finally, someone is taking the Jaguar. Thank you.
No. I would have if it wasn't such a dog to drive. I don't mind the car being very slow, as long as it's drivable. Then I can have fun driving it in a racing situation. But the Jaguar is just not fun to drive.
No, true. I tried it as well at one point, and I was like, no, that's not the car you want to drive. So.
No, definitely not. But I can tell you this much: Mode 11, or at least Bas van Millis, used to drive it way back in SRHI, and it comes from a Japanese manufacturer.
Oh, you're gonna go for the
Lexus.
Oh, someone remembered the classic days.
The Lexus should be okay now again, right? I think there's the latest VOP.
It's okay. It's still not a competitive car. There's no doubts that the McLaren is still fast, even if you run LFM Bob on them. But I just think it's a more fun car to drive, way more difficult, more challenging, and I go racing to have fun and just to enjoy the actual racing. So it doesn't matter to me if I'm in a Lexus or McLaren or Ferrari or Mercedes or whatever, as long as it's drivable, then I'll take it.
Well, the Nissan GTR in Tier 2 is now really quick.
Yeah. Well, I have watched all of those races, as you know. So I think that there'll be more than just that one Nissan on the grid next season in total. SSRI, but yeah, I like picking the different cars. It also makes for good broadcasting, and everyone wants to go GT3 racing because of the different manufacturers. They think it's fun when people run different cars, but everyone still wants to pick the good cars.
I think I drove all cars before this season. I drove all the cars, and then I just picked. There were 3 cars I liked to drive like instantly. That was the Lamborghini Evo 2, the McLaren, and I think the Aston Martin. So it was, for me, it was like, oh, I'll pick one of these.
Oh, but that usually also comes down to the base game setup. For instance, if you just try the Mercedes, it feels so awful with the base game setups, especially on Circuit de Catalunya and Paul Ricard, where most people will go do that sort of testing. But as long as you can either get some setups online or make them yourself, just some small tweaks to it, then it'll be very drivable and very fast. And that's the main thing of it. So you never know when you go out like that. It's just pick something and then start nerding it.
Yeah. That's what I do. So no, good fun having you around, Oliver. I hope to speak to you next week. I hope you're doing the commentating at that point.
Well, I was sure as the sun planning on it.
Well, but I think that's it, Ryan, for our season this time.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a fantastic season, and there's been great, fantastic racing in every round, and the GT3 Pro and the GT3 semi-pro classes as well, and the championship battle in both classes went down right to the wire to the last round tonight, and I think that's a good indication for next season, and I myself, I can't wait for next season already, and looking forward to being back.
Same for me.
But that's the season came to a close, and first off, I must thank Frank for calling the races alongside me, and Chris Hill for directing and doing the cameras behind the scenes, and yeah, thanks to all the drivers that's been on the grid this season, and to the people that's watched this season. And yeah, like I say, be looking forward to being back. And I think next season is going to be a fantastic one yet again. But from me, from Frank, and from Chris, and thanks to the whole SSRI community as well, and the people hosting the series, we look forward to being back. And yep, good night, and take care.